Hello, everyone. Welcome. It is time for the Thursday temperature check. Hope that you are all doing amazing. My name is Ben Klein. I am the owner of Geek Proposals and also the Chief Recipe Officer at Proposal Industry Experts. The reason, hopefully, that you are all here. Anyways, Rachelle is off and about, I believe, at an SMPS conference. I should double check that to make sure. Yes, she is in the great state of Utah, of which I have visited twice. Yeah, y'all have great scenery. Um, Anyways, so yeah, she's out there giving presentations, doing the SMPS thing, and so yeah, it's me solo. I did try to get a guest on, but I think I left it a little bit too late. They were having some difficulty with the scheduling. We will get this solved because Rochelle is traveling quite a bit in the month of April. It is that time of the year where conferences spring up. Anyways, I thought I would give some basic updates about what's happening out there in the universe from my perspective, obviously, and then we can go from there to some of the tools and stuff like that, and things that we're using. Anyways, and then yeah, and then call it a day. Again, hope that everything is going well for you. So first off, you may have seen we sent out some announcements around RFWIN 2025. We have picked a theme for it. The theme is, or actually, I don't know if the theme has been announced, so I will hold on that. I will hold on that just because Rochelle is the one who keeps me on check on where we're at on our marketing. But the speakers requests have gone out and everything like that. So we are getting some speakers in and everything like that. If you are thinking that you would like to be a speaker, be aware this is a very low impact conference to get involved with, especially if it's your first speaking appearance. We do have sessions as little as 30 minutes to an hour. You can get involved if you have like a rough idea of something that you want to do, but you need help workshopping it. Rochelle and I can help you workshop it. We have people on the Baker's Dozen who can help you workshop it. And then we also have a absolutely amazing speaking coach who can help you like refine your ideas and get into a place where you feel comfortable or confident speaking on it. So anyways, it has been announced. Thank you, Beth. So the theme of the event is Camp Pie. I'm really looking forward to it. Beth was nice enough to get me some color coding because we're going to put that up on the website and everything like that so that you guys will have a way to interact with the conference. So appreciate it. Beth, I am not always on top of all the communication that goes out inside this company, and I apologize for that. Anyways, so yeah, speaker applications are out. Please get in, and if you do have any questions at all, like, hey, I'm wanting to get involved, but I don't know how, feel free to reach out to us in Pi. You can do so on the community disco. You can do so via email. We have admin@proposalindustryexperts.com. Feel free to message us, and we are happy to talk to you about it. We've had some really, really great speakers in the past. We usually have a lot of different tracks and everything like that. So you have a lot of opportunity to kind of like move yourself into an area that would be relevant to our membership. So yeah, and again, it's a nice, low, easy way to get into speaking or public speaking. Our membership are super, super forgiving and very friendly. We usually have a lot of good interaction inside of most of the events and everything like that. We get the platform that we use gives a report on like how many comments and everything like that, and it's rare for me to see like less than 30 comments inside the chats and stuff like that while your event is going on. So usually there's a lot of good interaction and a lot of good friendliness. So again, definitely a good idea if you were thinking about going down that route, or you'd like to just getting more involved in presenting. So all right, so that is RFWIN. Another one, of course, and you know what, we apologize that there's a lot going on in the month of April. Another one is that we are starting the process of migrating over to Disco, which is our new learning platform. We had an opportunity to create what we felt were stronger education applications for you. So we moved some of the old education over. We're currently in the process of creating some of the new education. But Disco itself comes with a bit of a community and everything like that. And I know there will be some changes. One of the ones, Ben Johns reached out to me and indicated, or like, hey, I can't see dark mode on this one like I could on our better mode platform. And yeah, I can either turn dark, unlike better mode where you have the individual ability, I can either turn it on for everyone or turn it off for everyone. But you don't have like either everyone gets it or everyone doesn't, for example. So yeah, some small little learning curves and everything like that that we are addressing. Some of the people had some difficulty logging into the system because the forgot password, like all the information from better mode didn't transfer over to their new membership. So anyways, just fire off an email to me. I am slowly taking care of those. Or if you do manage to get into the platform, you should be getting a DM message from me, an automated DM message that basically just welcomes you to the platform. If you have any issues, feel free to respond on that DM and I will get it straightened out in time. In time. But yeah, lots of interesting conversations that are happening there. I just wanted to highlight um, some of the more humorous ones that we have had. So Chris Carter basically asked about the beverage of choice. Clearly, this is a reference to coffee. We've had some good responses around this. It appears to be an even split between whether you would take a sugary treat or a nice like soothing coffee and everything like that. Caffeine does seem to be the thing of choice. I myself am running Tim Hortons today on the day. I don't actually have a submission, but I do have a lot of submission prep, of course, for this weekend and for the following week. So I am caffeinated, but just like who was it? Not Ben, but Louis here said that he is trying to get out of the caffeine, and I hear you. Sometimes deep into the bid, I'm like 3 or 4 drinks, and definitely getting a little bit more buzzy than I should be. But we also had some serious questions around some business swag and stuff like that. So please help Olivia out. She's interested in creating some branded swag. And again, Beth is in the audience, so I'm going to say this with all due caution. We are seriously, now that we have kind of settled on a home for our community and everything like that, we are seriously looking at how to incorporate things like a Shopify site so that members who have interesting products, like we have a number of novelists in our group, a number of writers who have written books, both from a fictional perspective and from a nonfiction perspective. So stuff to help you in your career. We've had a number of people who have created interesting education products and everything like that. And so we are trying to create a marketplace for our membership. It will not happen, my guess is this year, but crossing fingers. My wife runs a Shopify company, or sorry, runs her own business from the Shopify platform. And she has agreed begrudgingly to assist me in creating that. So I really just need to kind of sit down with her, scope it out, and figure out how we would do it to arrange for like all the different vendors who would go into that marketplace to be able to offer services through our platform to other members of the community, or offer products, sorry, to other members of the community. Anyways, so working on that. But Olivia's question here is around what kind of swag would you like to have branded? And so, yeah, feel free to jump in there and give her a go. And then we had from Alex some questions around the response on RFXs. I haven't weighed in on this one yet, but like a number of people, there really is quite a degree of difference between the responses on it. I've had some where they give me a ridiculously long period of time to respond, upwards of 6 months. There are others that give me less than a week. And you kind of have to wonder. Sometimes you look at it and it's like, oh, is this a procurement issue? Do they have a driving issue that is causing them to circumvent the procurement process or make it so small? In other cases, it's just because they know the complexity of what they're doing and they're making it exceptionally large. But one of the interesting things that came up in this piece is that people are noticing that response times are getting shorter. And this is borne out by the 2023 Bonfire Report, which did indicate that procurement times are reducing. In general, procurement times across Bonfire had something like 14.8 days or something like that, or 14.9 days. I apologize. Let me not even give numbers because I'm worried that I'm going to misquote the report. I will see if I can dig it up and stick it in there. But Bonfire did indicate that in general, in 2023, there was a full day drop in the amount of response time. And that my guess is it's getting even shorter now. I'm seeing a lot of bids coming out with 10 business days, 11 business days. And that's basically about it. They'll release it on the Friday late afternoon, and they'll want it 2 Mondays from there. So definitely in the commercial space, at the very least, I am seeing a lot of reduced response times. Sorry, there we go. My fiction, sorry, and then we have a comment here from Christy Weldon. Good news, bad news. My fiction has been used to train AI without permission. Oh no, I'm sorry. That is a real challenge, Christy. I hear you. And sorry, are you part of Christy? And I just want to confirm: are you part of the group lawsuit by the Fiction Writers of America or something like that in regards to AI? I'm very curious about what people are doing, and I had to kind of laugh when OpenAI said, hey, someone is training DeepSeek on our responses inside of ChatGPT. And I was like, well, yeah, but you also stole a lot of your stuff, or not, yeah, stole a lot of your stuff from like various sources to train your AI. So it's kind of pot kettle kind of situation. So that's really challenging. I'm sorry about that, Christy. But yeah, let keep watching the space. When we do get a storefront up, let's talk. We don't want to make this like a profit center for us. Realistically, what we want to do is try to drive interconnections between our membership, right? We would love for y'all to know about all the wonderful things that y'all do. So, yeah, super interested though. Chrissy, I would love to hear more about your situation. Haven't had time to address it. I'm not a member. Oh, okay. Not a problem. Let's figure that out. And when you say that you're not a member, I thought I saw you inside the platform. Maybe I am mistaken. Like not a paid member, I'm sure, but anyone can be a member of Pi. So feel free to reach out to us. All right. Okay, moving on from there. And now, interesting thing about AI, of course, is that more and more we are seeing that. I'm currently helping a client. They are evaluating response tools. And of course, like the legacy tools, the Lupios, the Responsivs, the Ombuds are all saying that like they are incorporating AI into their response process. But of course, then we have the kind of pure response tools. Oh, of the Fiction Writers Group. Thank you, Chrissy. I thought you were a member of Pi. Sorry. So there you go. Yeah, I'm a Pi member. I appreciate you. Yes. I'm like, I've seen you. I've seen you in there. Um, anyways, so yeah. So anyways, we were seeing legacy tools which are trying to build AI into the tool set itself. And then we are seeing individuals who are making response tools with AI in mind from the very beginning and stuff like that. That's the RFEs, the AutoGen AIs, the DeepSeek, or not DeepSeek, but Deep RFP from Javier. That's the Quandies and stuff like that are all out there, creating interesting products. And it's been a real education process. And of course, we had Chris and Carrie on just a little while ago talking about the importance of like choosing the right tool and implementing the right tool. And we will be announcing a contest, hopefully at the end of this month, cross fingers, with their product, which is My Proposal Pathway, which basically allows you to kind of answer a series of questions and really get a good idea of like what tool would be right for your proposal process. Because as we know, like honestly, any tool is probably going to help you more than like an Excel spreadsheet or a wiki or a SharePoint. But how it fits into your process is different depending on both the maturity of your process and the needs of your process. Um, I know from having seen a lot of different clients, like, yeah, some of them are very, very regimented, their processes. Some are a little bit loosier goosier. Some require more control and like focus on the sales. Others like focus on like protecting themselves legally and everything like that. So there is there's a lot of difference. And so my proposal pathway, the contest will be again, hopefully at the end of the week or end of the month. But if think about it carefully, because if your company is thinking about moving towards a proposal response tool and you want some good advice about where to go in that process, then watch for this contest. It might give you an opportunity to get some free consulting from Carrie and Chris on choosing your tool. So yeah, but anyways, as I go through this process, I am reminded continuously though that like there just is still a lot of like small edge use cases inside the proposal process that are greatly helped by AI. And I still find myself using tools like Copilot or ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini or even Sora to like create graphics and stuff like that on the fly when I need to. And I wanted to, with Rachelle, though I forgot that she wasn't going to be available today, I wanted to like revisit my continuous issue of like creating the cloud. And so I won't do that today. I do want to save that with her. But one of the things that I used inside my proposal process recently is we had a bid that was due on Friday, and we were running out of time. And I hate it. I hate it when I'm still like creating content on the day of the bid, but there were just some final things that needed to be resolved. And what the salesperson brought up to me is he said, "Hey, I'm really worried that like IT might kill this deal, that the IT department might kill this deal. And what I want to do is center them on a number of our graphics where we identify like individuals and their representation inside the organization." And these graphics had been created by our marketing team, and they had icons for various positions within the company, right? Like there was like a frontline worker, and there was like an office worker, and there was like a manager and stuff like that. And they'd created these cute little icons using, I assume, Canva or some similar tool or something like that. And then they had put them on PowerPoint slides so that I could like export them into graphics and stuff like that. And away to the races. Anyways, and so he said, "Oh, can I get like an IT icon so that I can like put that in various places on those graphics to indicate that like IT is represented in our overall design of the solution?" And I said, "Yeah, I have no idea like how to do that." But I was thinking, you know what I could do is I will upload various versions. So this company uses Copilot. I said I can upload various versions of the graphics that we have created already, not just the icons themselves, but like the overall flow of the graphic. And so I just threw it in there, and I described like, "Hey, there's this person exists in this corner. Like this is a frontline worker. They exist in this corner of the graphic that I've sent to you. This person exists here," and I would tell uh, uh, Copilot where those graphics were. And then what I did is I asked it like, try to create a person that's like this but represents IT. And what it created for me was a male, uh, but it was a perfect black and white graphic that looked very similar to the other ones substantially. And I was like, this is amazing. Like that saved me so much time and um, so much back and forth that would have been created like last minute marketing issues where I would be like, "Hey, can you reopen your Canva or whatever you use to create this icon?" And it just created it on the fly. And it was again a really good reminder to me of like the ease at which we will be able to like solve problems with this tool, and at the same time just this awareness that like the world is changing for us as proposal managers, and for our ability to kind of work and use these tools and everything like that. So they're not going away. Once again, I know that everyone hates talking about AI, or not hates talking about AI, but like dislikes talking about AI. But yeah, it's happening. It's happening. Um, So anyway, so there's that, and then also during the process, we have a an organization that we're involved with called the Amalgamation, and with all the changes that are occurring within, all the changes that are occurring within the United States right now, we've seen a lot of issues around small business administration and the difficulties. Even before the Trump administration, there were already changes that were occurring to how small businesses were going to interact within the proposal space and everything like that. And then, of course, there are just a number of department layoffs and government layoffs. I know I've heard a lot about bids being canceled because the federal government cannot support them currently and everything like that. At the same time, I'm also hearing in certain sectors that there is like an increase in the amount of volume. And so I'd be very curious in hearing people's experiences with how they're interacting with it. But one of the things, of course, is that with the amalgamation, and I just want to kind of seed the ground a little bit. The amalgamation is an organization of diverse business owners. So these are minority or women-owned business, veteran-owned business, and they basically banded together to help them when they get involved in public procurement. And so what they have been looking for, we've done a number of small little items for them in the past where we've helped them review bids. We've given them access to some of our resources inside our community to kind of help those business owners get involved in the proposal process. And one of the things that their founder, Kristen Williams, who sits on our advisory board, came back to us with, she was like, look, a lot of these small business owners need the support of a proposal team, but they can't, they'll only respond to one or two bids per year kind of thing, right? Like they can't justify keeping someone on salary and stuff like that. And so I said, hey, we have this consultants index that allows consultants to kind of keep themselves or be aware, be made aware of potential jobs that are reaching out to us. And I said, you can always reach out to us on that. And then at the same time, I said, hey, if you want to do bid reviews or something like that, or bid shreds and stuff like that, I bet you within our community, there are people who would be willing to do that. So again, watch this space. I don't know if anyone inside the community has watched us do a bid shred before or would be interested in watching us do a bid shred. But realistically, what we do is we appraise it not from the eye of a buyer. We appraise it from the eye of a reader. And what we know from our experience as proposal managers about how it would be accepted and everything like that. So, but if you are interested in that, then we would be happy to kind of set up a session that looks like that. And ostensibly to kind of give you an idea of how we assess bids and everything like that, but also maybe this is something that you could provide as support, and it sounds like possibly even paid support to the amalgamation or other firms that need this. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I had silenced all of my devices, and clearly I hadn't. All right. So there is that. And with that in mind, I think that kind of brings us a little bit to a close. Having said that, now I know that I left us with a cliffhanger 2 weeks ago on a bid that was going nutty. That is the one that I submitted on Friday. So good news is that I did submit it. There were some more last minute complications and surprises, but I do want to bring up another Tales from the Pitch. So this is a bid nightmare. And the humorous part is I'm sort of dealing with it today and yesterday. So, and also special thanks to Ben Johns, who gave us the metadata episode. And Ben, I am going to reach out to you again because I really do want to run that contest inside our community for everyone. I think it would be a lot of fun about searching for metadata inside of things. I don't know if anyone followed that episode. It's in our podcast history. It's Ben Johns, The Dark Arts of Metadata. It's on our YouTube as well. Go have go have a look at it, please. because it has been fabulous. So one of the recent documents that I opened up, and again, Ben was honest in that he said, "Hey, sometimes you open it up and there's nothing there. Like there's nothing interesting to see, but every once in a while you glean some fascinating insights." So on a bid that I just recently responded to, I opened it up and I noticed that the original procurement document had been created in 2019. So this is when they originally thought up the idea that they needed to do this stuff. And the individual who was with the company had moved from a junior procurement officer to a senior member of operations. And it was just very surprising to me. Like, yes, this individual is still with the organization. It gave me some insight into like how long they've been thinking through this problem and everything like that. And it gave me like a little bit of wheels turning. Anyways, that's not the tales from the pitch that I want to talk about today, though. The one that sorry, I need to stay focused. The one I want to talk about today is that we have all received bids where it is clear that procurement on the other side has been like phoning in their work a little bit. We've seen bids where like they've taken an old procurement and they've copy and pasted, just like we do sometimes. All fairness, where they've copy and pasted in old information and stuff like that, and they have like requirements that don't really apply to this bid. Because maybe they're a construction company, but this time they're ordering software. Or I had one where they were ordering services, but were also asking for like insurance requirements that didn't really apply to this bid. We've all seen that. Anyways, so in this company, it was a large organization and it had 11 different divisions that had all sent in their business requirements. And it was clear from the start, they provided us with this massive file that they called a reference file. And what it was 3,000 requirements, but they hadn't provided a format on how to respond to those requirements at all. And it was clear when you read what they had done is they had 11 tabs inside an Excel spreadsheet. Each one represented one of these different divisions. And some of the divisions had like 400 questions in there or 400 requirements in there. Others had like 50. Some had been phrased as like use cases. Some were clearly like exports from some sort of ticketing system where they had like expressed disgruntlement over something. And so they were filing tickets on things that they wanted to get fixed. Some were just like pure questions, like more traditional, like, hey, can your product do this? Or in statements, hey, your product must be able to do this kind of thing. And so it was a real hodgepodge of responses or of requirements. And so we wrote to the procurement officer and we said, hey, like there are 3,000 requirements here on a bid that is due in 15 business days. That's a lot for us to respond to and really like evaluate and everything like that. But I didn't want to phrase it as like, hey, I don't think you looked at this properly. You clearly didn't workshop with each one of the divisions on like how they should send in their responses because there's no alignment. They're using lots of jargon that's going to be very confusing for us to respond to, and different jargon between the different divisions. And so what I did is they had given us a templated checklist response. And I said, hey, for this document, this is our assumption of how we're supposed to respond. Can you confirm? For this document, this is our assumption of how to respond. And then I got to this document, the reference document, and I said, to my knowledge, this is a reference document. We need to provide a cohesive response within our narrative about how we respond to these, but we do not have to respond on a line-to-line basis. And the response came back, we're going to leave it up to you about how you respond to it. Just be aware that like you need to address each business unit's concerns or else they will not select you. The good news is the company that I was representing at that time won that deal. However, some of the business units did not sign on to that contract. They are allowed, supposedly, to contract separately. Who knew? And so recently, the procurement officer reached out to us and said, hey, you didn't send back this original document, this reference document of the 3,000 requirements. Would you be willing to quickly do a line-by-line review of that document? Or did you actually do a line-by-line review that you can share so that we can get these other two business units confident that they are selecting the right tool? And I went to the salesperson and I'm like, this is the question that we asked inside the bid. This is the concern that we had with them. And then sure enough, it is becoming a problem now. Their divisions do not feel confident in this selection that procurement made. And so procurement is asking us to kind of save their butts. And anyways, I feel for this procurement officer, but I do want to like look up what school they went to for procurement and give them a really low rating on Yelp right now because they are creating work in the back end and I'm not excited about it. Anyways, that's my tales from the pitch today. It was a shorter session. I apologize uh, for that. And again, next week I should be able to have a guest on and stuff like that, and we'll have a little bit of interaction around it. Hope that you're all doing well. Hope that you're going into your weekends with all of your bids in good shape, or all of your proposals in good shape. Hopefully, you're not working through the weekend. And anyways, y'all be safe out there, and thank you so much. You have a great day.